Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today I'm going to be answering your YouTube questions. So if you have a question about what it is that you are doing on YouTube, there's a form down in the description of this live stream right now where you can put your question. I answer them in the order that they're received. So if you have something you want to know, make sure that you go ahead and you get it down there now, because there's not a ton of questions in there. And there's a really good chance that if you put your question in there right now, as I'm saying this, that we will get to yours here during the live stream today. If you're watching this on the replay, of course, you can't put your question in the form here, but join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. We stream for about 2 to 3 hours, sometimes more, sometimes 4, to where you can get your questions answered as well. I also want to let you know that this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators that'll help you tag your videos, find awesome video ideas, test your thumbnails, optimize your videos for discovery through their SEO feature. They have something called the click magnet now, to where they're even analyzing your thumbnails, to where they can say, hey, when your thumbnails, when people, when you're using things that are zoomed in more, people respond better. When you use these certain expressions, people respond better, and so on. But it's called the click magnet. Also an amazing new feature from TubeBuddy. So make sure that you check out TubeBuddy. There's a link to that down in the description below, or you can go to tubebuddy.com/Nimmin and see what TubeBuddy can do for you for free. And then, of course, you know, they have the upgrade to get, you know, a bunch of additional cool features. This stream is co-sponsored by StreamYard, the easiest live streaming platform on the face of planet Earth. And with StreamYard, they allow you to easily be able to bring in guests with just a few clicks to your live streams. You don't have to have a strong computer. Even if your computer doesn't have tons of power, StreamYard can still help you with your live streaming solutions, your live streaming needs, in terms of bringing in guests, being able to see chat on the screen, being able to just easily connect a camera and just go live and add graphics to your live streams, like the ones that you're seeing on the screen right now, for example. And with that, StreamYard, you can also try StreamYard for free as well at StreamYard.com. So with all of that out of the way, I hope everybody had a good week. I'm sure that you have noticed, just in case you have not, that there have been some changes to YouTube. So basically, if you have been living under a rock for some reason, or you just haven't been tuned in, and you didn't know, YouTube now is going to be running ads on your videos, even if you are not monetized. And if you are not monetized, you're not going to get a cut. A lot of people are freaking out about this. And, you know, it's definitely not something to freak out about. YouTube is a free hosting platform that we get to upload our videos to and tap into their infrastructure that they've built over the last 15 years, tap into the traffic that they've built over the last 15 years and the brand that they've built over the last 15 years. So basically, in exchange for all of that opportunity, basically, they are putting ads in front of the videos that are not in the partner program, and those particular content creators don't get a cut yet. But in order to bypass that, all they have to do is get into the partner program by meeting the necessary requirements, and then it's a non-issue. So I did an entire live stream on this day before yesterday when this news happened. So if you want like even more details about it, make sure that you check out the replay of that live stream, because we talked about it, you know, a lot more in depth in that particular stream. So with all that out of the way, let's just go ahead and get into the questions for today. So the very first question here is from Joseph Plexi, Joseph Ply. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And the question is, movies and review reactions is the type of channel. The goal of the channel is to give my honest opinion reactions to viewers that like the same films, animes that I do, grow a community, and hopefully in the future monetize my channel to have another income. The question is, hey, Nick, I hope that you're doing okay. I am. But shortly before the live stream, I bit my tongue. So right now, I'm trying to manage talking fast and loud and all that good stuff like I normally do. But I bit my tongue hard. Like, I think that there's actually a chunk of my tongue that I might have taken out, but it still hurts right now, because this happened maybe, you know, 5 or 10 minutes ago. And it like really, really hurts. It's like throbbing right now, but we're still moving forward. It's all good. So I'm doing amazing outside of that. But I bit my tongue. So I'm trying to, if you've ever bitten your tongue, I'm sure everybody here has, just give me a hashtag me. I'm just curious, but I'm sure everybody here has bitten their tongue, and you know exactly what I'm feeling right now. But it feels like my tongue is like this big over on this side of my face. It's funny. But besides that, I'm doing awesome. Says, I have 2 questions to ask. Hope that's okay. I'm going to pick one of these and we're going to go with that just to give other people an opportunity. But the question is, I have been doing films and reviews and reactions on Spanish because I live in Ecuador. But I want to start doing those in English because I want to improve my speaking in English and hopefully reach more people. Is that okay if in the labels of the video, I put labels of Spanish and in English? So if you have a 2-language channel, what I recommend is that you actually start another channel for the other language. And the reason for that is because, let's say me as an English speaker, I come in, hey, we got Brian G in the house. Is Brian G Johnson in here? Brian G Johnson, what is up, my man? Hope that you are doing fantastic. We got Zaggy DK in here as well. Brian G Johnson, in case you guys don't know, is the author of Tube Ritual Volume 1. This book, I got a link to this in the description, by the way, non-sponsored. He's a buddy of mine, so I just like to mention this anytime he comes in the stream. But basically, his book will help you jumpstart your journey to YouTube success. So make sure that you check that out down in the description below, especially if you're just getting started. But when you are considering having a channel where you are putting 2 languages on the channel, the reason that that's not a fantastic idea is because, let's say that Mum V-Teen right here is in the chat. Let's say Mum V-Teen goes and she watches your video on your YouTube channel, and it's in English because she speaks English. And she's like, wow, this is fantastic. I love it. I'm going to come and I'm going to watch every video on this channel. Well, the next video you publish is in another language. So she sees the thumbnail, she recognizes that it's you, and she clicks on it. She's like, oh, I'm so excited. I loved that last video. I can't wait to check out this new piece of content from this content creator. Clicks on the video and it's in Spanish. She doesn't understand it. She leaves. So what you just did is you just hurt the audience retention. You hurt the potential performance of the video, at least at publish. It might do fine later, but basically you are cutting that video off like right as you are publishing. So you're damaging your opportunity right, to get the initial views on that video. You're damaging that right after publish. Is something you don't want to do. So if you have 2 channels, or if you have 2 languages, I recommend a channel for each language. Renee Ritchie, hope that you're doing awesome. Nice to see you in here as well. Shark Scrapper, what's up, man? Baking with Charlene, what's up? Paul, Pixel Pagan, what is going on? Nairi Squires, nice to see you here as well. Doug Houston, YT, what is up? Nice to see you in here, holding it down as always, my man. My E-Class and Bites, what's going on? Okay, so next question that we have here is from Extremely Kolkata. And the question is, they do, the type of channel is travel and events. The goal of the channel is to get YouTube success. And the question is, I'm getting all the comments that are positive. My channel's not growing. Every subscribers want to get back them. Very frustrated that too much of bad quality videos are getting 1,000 to 4,000 views within an hour upload. How is it possible after so many hard work in my age of 55? Okay, so here's the thing. When you see other videos that seemingly don't have a lot of effort put into them, and those videos are getting a lot of views on them, but your videos aren't, after you've spent, 8 hours, 2 days, 3 days, 6 hours, whatever it happens to be for you to put your videos together, what is happening on another channel has no relation to what's happening on your channel. You don't know where it is that they're getting their views from. You don't know any type of additional social media accounts that they might be sharing it on. You don't know if they have friends that are sharing their content on their behalf. You don't know what they actually put into their video. Like, they could have put in just as much work as you did, but it just might not look like it to you. And in addition to that, on YouTube, we don't get rewarded for the hours or the minutes or, whatever days that we put into our content. We actually get rewarded for how people respond to that content. So even if your opinion says that the other videos that are low effort are not good videos, if people respond to those videos better, that is going to help them get more, that's going to help those videos get more views. So as an example, I'm actually going to show you this really quick. And I wanted to bring this up today because I mentioned this a lot in the live streams about YouTube having a page about how YouTube works. And I just want to actually use this question here to segue into that really quick. So if you look at the screen right now, you're going to see basically, if you go to youtube.com/howYouTubeWorks, they have a bunch of different information in there about YouTube for you. But one of the things that they tell you here is that another factor of YouTube's recommendation systems is whether others who clicked on the same video watched it to completion, a sign that the video is higher quality or enjoyable, or if they just clicked on it shortly after starting to view the video and then clicked away. So in addition to that, they also ask viewers directly about their experience, because I'm sure you guys have seen some of the surveys and stuff like that. But basically, the surveys, they appear on the homepage and elsewhere throughout the app. They use this direct feedback to fine-tune and improve the systems for all users. So the idea there, the big takeaway, is that when you are putting your content out there, if other people are enjoying that content, then as long as those people are enjoying it, then it doesn't matter how much time is put into it. Somebody could just walk around with a phone with no edits or anything, and then done. They're done with the video, it uploads. But if they're engaging, people respond to that video in a positive way, that video will get more traction than your video. If you spent a week on that video, it doesn't matter. That video will get more traction if people are clicking on it more and they're watching it for a longer period of time, or if YouTube systems simply just deem it as a better experience than what it is that people are getting with your video. So it's more about how the viewers respond to things than it is about what it is that we do and the work that we put into, that we put into the actual videos. But don't get me wrong, putting time into a video, making sure that you are, basically getting that time in there to make it better, so that, you're trying to create a better quality experience. And sometimes that might take more time. That's absolutely okay. But what I'm saying, though, is that doesn't guarantee a result on the platform just because you put in more time. All right, next question that we have here on the list. Man, this tongue, my tongue literally feels like it's double size right now. Woo. Okay. So next up on our list here, we've got Downtown John Brown. I remember Downtown Julie Brown on MTV for you older folks. Give me a hashtag Julie Brown if you remember that one. Okay. So lifestyle channel is the type of channel. The goal is to get more views and subscribers. The question, hey, Nick, is all engagement equal engagement? For instance, some comments on my videos actually have more likes than the actual video itself. Is there a hierarchy of engagement? Is it better for the algorithm to get a like from a video than a comment from a video? I hope that makes sense, and all engagement is good, but I just want to know the technicality. Okay, here's the thing. The thing that matters the most, basically watch time is engagement as well. So that's the thing that matters most. So you can have a video with the comments turned off, and that video can still do awesome. You can have a video to where, it doesn't get that many likes on it necessarily, but if people are watching that video till the end, or a large percentage of that video, then that video can still be deemed as a satisfactory experience to YouTube. And at the end of the day, if you're, trying to get more views and subs, which is what you're trying to do, at the end of the day, that's the thing that you need to focus on. So instead of spending time focusing on hey, I just want to get, more likes on my videos so that hopefully the algorithms will like my videos and show them to more people. The thing that's going to supersede all of that is by getting people to click on your video more, getting people to watch your video for a longer period of time, and ultimately getting people to click on your end screens as well and watch more of your videos, and making quality content and a quality experience for your viewers so that they also keep coming back to your channel over and over again. So that's ultimately what it is that you're trying to accomplish, not necessarily, hey, I just want to get a bunch of likes on this video. It's more about the watch time than it is anything. But keep in mind, though, that every little action that somebody takes on a video in terms of, they like it, they share it, they add it to a playlist, they, comment on it, all of these things are engagement, and all of these things, do matter. But the thing that actually matters the most is watch time, right? How long can you actually keep people watching your videos? Because if somebody watches your video for a longer period of time, that means that they're satisfied with what it is that you're doing for that longer period of time. If they keep coming back to your channel, it's because they enjoy your content over and over and over again. If they watch that video more than one time, it's because they really enjoyed that video. So that's an extremely satisfactory experience. If they click on an end screen and go watch another video, they're really digging what it is that you're doing. So like I showed on the screen here a minute ago, about, YouTube saying that, one of the things that their systems consider is whether others who clicked on the same video watched it to completion. The same exact thing applies in terms of, if people are going in and they are clicking in your end screens and watching more videos, the same thing applies in terms of YouTube says in the YouTube Creator Academy, not this page, but on another more educational stuff that they have, free. I got a link to that in the description, by the way. But basically, one of the things they say there is they say that if people go deeper into YouTube from your video, then that video is more likely to get recommended elsewhere on the platform. So if they have a satisfactory experience with you and then click on an end screen, that's a pretty satisfactory experience, especially if they keep watching another one of your videos, then another one of your videos, and another one of your videos, and so on. So that's the thing that is the most important to make sure that you are you're focusing on. Okay, next up on our list here. Hey, AliX. We got Brian G. Johnson saying yo, saying hey to everybody. dropping the word in here as well. Love it. Mr. Camera Junkie, what's up, man? Hope that you are doing fantastic. Okay, next up, we got Faith Vista. Faith Vista says, hey, Nick, I asked this in the members group. I'm going to ask it here to know what you've said about it. I have a dilemma. I'm passionate about music, which is my current channel's niche. I'm glad that you're asking this here because I answered it in the group as well, but I'm glad that you answered this here too, or that you asked this here too. My current channel's niche is music, where I do song covers, but I'm also passionate about school life, lifestyle, and health, which are all different niches. My current channel is almost monetized, so I was wondering if I could brand my current channel with all of these topics. It's hard for me to create another channel because it will take a lot more effort and time again. Okay, so here's the thing. When, like with all the advice that I give on my YouTube channel, the tips that I give are mostly about things that are going to help you get results on YouTube faster, right? So those are things like, you know, making sure that you're niching down and serving a particular type of audience and that you're spending time analyzing your audience retention reports and things like that. But another thing that you have to consider is there is another side of YouTube. It's not all just, you know, growth focus, growth focus, growth focus. There's also the enjoyment side of YouTube as a content creator. So in your particular case, if you're like, hey, I love making music, but I also love doing all this other stuff and I want to put it on my channel, you can absolutely do that. But if you do that, one thing that I do recommend, if you do notice, hey, people start responding to this school-related content more, or this lifestyle-related content more, the health-related content more, then I would recommend that you double down on that content because that's the stuff that people start responding to from you. So the people that YouTube is showing your content to, they respond to, we'll just say lifestyle for now, they respond to the lifestyle version, which tells you that, hey, you know, those people are enjoying what it is that you're doing. So if you can keep serving those people in a good way, then YouTube is going to identify that, and then they're going to identify other users on the platform as well that are like the people that also enjoy that piece of content, and they are going to continue to show your content to more of those people. So because of that, if you do notice that, you know, if you start walking down that path and you notice that you do have, you know, one video start doing better than the others, then in that case, you definitely want to double down on it because, and pull back into your niche, because then in that situation, you know, you have found kind of like your path, so to speak. So because of that, you can absolutely do it for everybody here. Like, you can do anything that you want on your YouTube channel. But just the idea is, if you are focused on growth and you're wanting to, you know, accelerate things, it's really important just to pay attention so that when things do take off, or you do have a video taking off, that you can follow that up with more content that's similar like that, because that's the right audience. Now, when it comes to what it is you're trying to accomplish from the channel, and yours is entertain and gain an audience. So in that situation, if you're trying to entertain and gain an audience, if your music stuff is doing that, then, you know, you might be on the right path there, and you might not necessarily need to start another YouTube channel, or you might not necessarily need to upload more, you know, or different types of content in that situation. So what I would recommend is, if you're like, if you're having that creative issue, like, you know what, I just like, I want to get more, you know, just get more of this creativity out, but you don't want to do another channel. If you want to, go ahead and put it on your current channel. Like I personally wouldn't, just because of, you know, like my YouTube experience and, you know, working on my channels, working on, you know, other people's channels and stuff. Like for me, like if it was my channel, I would focus one channel on music, and then I would focus one channel on, like, if you want the channel to be about you, because that's ultimately what you're saying here. If you want it to be about your school life, lifestyle, and health, to where people are going to come in and they're going to like listen to you, then in that situation, I would have the music channel, and then I would have that channel separate, because long term, I don't know what you're trying to ultimately do with your music channel, and I don't know what you're trying to ultimately do with the other one. But long term, if you're like, hey, I'm putting all this time into the music stuff and I really want the music channel to grow, then you can end up kind of working against yourself when you do start, you know, when you do start putting out different types of content that's not a great fit for the audience. So in that situation, it's really important just to make sure, if you do start putting out content and it starts underperforming, then you're, you know, the people that YouTube is showing your content to, you know, they're not digging that stuff. Doesn't mean they, you know, that they won't find the right audience in the future, but it just means that, you know, in the immediate, they're not digging that stuff. Hey, Dr. Stan, what's up, dude? Hope that you are doing fantastic. And there are some super chats that came in. I'm going to answer those here really quick as well. Let me refresh the page here. Nothing like coffee for a bitten tongue. Okay. So for the super chats that came in, super chat. Let's see where these started. Okay, so Ada Lorandes says that my channel is a topic My channel's topic is common on YouTube, but not in my country. Should I keep trying? Should I do it in English, even if the competition is higher? Here's the thing, is if it's not popular in your country, then you could be the person that makes it popular in your country, because if you're the early adapter there, then in that situation, you know, it might not be that popular now, but as more and more people start catching on, then in that situation, like you might be that person that's like the first to do that type of content in your country, which can lead you to big gains later. But if you're like, you know what, like in my country, people aren't really digging this. And since they're not really digging it, I'm not really digging it. So I want to try something new. In that case, going after the English market isn't really a good fit unless you're pretty proficient in English, which you might be. If you're pretty proficient in English, then in that situation, you know, go for it. But just keep in mind, if it's a very saturated market and there's a lot of fluent English speakers doing it, unless you can find a really good way to stand out, your competition is going to be even higher. Because, for example, me as an English speaker, if I have the option to watch two different gamers and one of the gamers speaks perfect English, and people are different about this. This is just my personal thing. But if I have the option to watch somebody that speaks English like I do, which I don't speak perfect English either, doing right. But if I, you know, am watching a gamer that speaks English like I do, then I'm going to relate to them more than if I'm watching a video of somebody that speaks broken English, or their English isn't up to par. I have to struggle to understand them in any way. I'm going to resonate more with the people that communicate like I do than I am with the people that don't communicate like I do. So just keep that in mind, that you might be creating a bigger wall for yourself in that situation. But depending on your language and how you actually communicate, that might be the thing that helps you stand out too. So, you know, because of that, you know, of course you can, you can experiment with it, but ultimately, I'm a big fan of people tapping into their local markets instead of everybody trying to tap into the English market. Because when everybody starts trying to tap into the English market, in a lot of cases, they start working against themselves in that situation, and they make it a lot harder for themselves. Okay, next up, we've got Truth Guitar Method says, I'm getting ready to hit 500. High five, fist bump to you. Nice work. And I'm very happy about it, but I'm now in a phase where people subscribe and obviously want me to reciprocate. And when I don't comply, my numbers drop. Is this normal? Here's the thing. You never want to do that. You never, ever, under any circumstance, want to exchange a subscribe for a subscribe. Under any circumstance, you never want to do that. And the reason for that is because when you are doing that, you are connecting with a bunch of people that don't care about your content. They're just exactly what's happening to you right now, right? You're not connecting with people that care about what it is that you're doing. You're caring, basically you are connecting with people that are just wanting you to subscribe to them. So they're not subscribing to you because they enjoy your content. They're subscribing to you because they want something in return. So basically what they're doing in that situation is they're being leeches. They're not adding anything to anybody. They're being leeches. So because of that, don't participate in that in any way, shape, or form. And just as a heads up, there isn't a phase where people subscribe and they want you to reciprocate. That happens on my channel as well, where, you know, people are trying to do that stuff in my comments. That happens on probably every channel that's here in the comments right now. You're going to see, you know, similar activity, and it's not a phase. It just always happens. So just don't participate in that in any way, shape, or form. So as a quick tip for how you can get around that, there's something called the blocked words list. The blocked words list actually makes it to where you can put like, you know, sub for sub and subscribe for subscribe, and all the tricky ways that people, you know, try to grab attention for that and try to get people to do that. You can put those in your blocked words list, and then YouTube will automatically hold those for review, so they won't be in the public view. So the person that's leaving that comment, they'll see it, they'll think that it's there, but in reality, nobody's actually going to see their comment on your channel. So that's what I recommend that you do to hold that down a little bit. Super Joe Everest says, it seems like my top performing videos get a significant surge every 30 days or so that pulls back after a couple days. Is that normal? Yeah, it's possible. Like, I'm not sure exactly the specific type of content that you make. If you are making something to where, you know, it would be, you know, like people around a certain time of a month would be, you know, more interested in the content, then that would be normal. But in terms of just in general, no, not necessarily. So basically, you know, when videos get published, they typically do great out of the, or not great, but they get do better out of the gate. And then they can either kind of maintain that, or they can kind of fall off, and then they can slowly build back up over time, or YouTube finds the right audience for them, and then they just start doing great. But you know, the video just kind of being steady and then having like a little spike every now and then, that isn't something that I've seen any of. I've seen that, you know, over the course of like a quarter or over the course of a year based on like what's happening in a particular industry or what's happening seasonally or something like that. But I personally haven't seen that on like a month-to-month situation. Tube Spanner Danielle, what's up? Says, for caffeine and snacks to help fuel the flow of awesome facts. Also to celebrate that we're about to hit 20,000 subscribers 6 months after launching the channel by following your advice. Danielle, high five, fist bump to you. Nice work on that. And Tube Spanner, by the way, guys, I'm going to link to Tube Spanner down in the description below. I'm actually partnering up with Danielle to work on some really awesome stuff with Tube Spanner to help make it even cooler for you guys. So there's a link to Tube Spanner down in the description below where you can go and check it out. Currently, you can make thumbnails with it. You can write scripts with it. You can do all kinds of you can like speed through your comments in it. All kinds of really cool stuff there. So we're adding to like that stuff and, you know, a lot more for Tube Spanner as well. So make sure that you check that out if you have not yet. Truth Guitar Method says, can you speak about giveaway legalities with YouTube or important things to know? Absolutely. So when it comes to giveaways on YouTube, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you are putting the required disclaimers down in your description. So one of those disclaimers is you have to link to the YouTube terms of service. Another one is you need to link to the community guidelines. You also need to use very specific language saying that YouTube is not a part of or does not endorse the giveaway either. You also have to be very clear about if you are collecting any information at all. You have to be very clear about what you're going to be doing with that information as well. But if you Google for YouTube giveaway requirements, then within the first few results, you're going to see a Google help page. If you click into that, then that's going to take you to a full page to where they're going to show you the very specific language that I'm talking about that you are going to need to put down in your descriptions in terms of releasing YouTube from any liability of being involved with your contest because you're just using their platform for it, but they're not endorsing it or involved or promoting it in any way, shape, or form. Also, keep in mind, I'm not sure what you're doing your giveaway for, but when it comes to YouTube, they frown upon incentivizing your viewers. So, for example, saying things like, hey, I'm giving away this thing, but I'm only going to give it away if you are subscribed to the channel, or to, have a chance to win, make sure that you subscribe to the channel because I'm going to pull it from my subscriber list or something like that. That is incentivizing them to subscribe to your channel. And the way that YouTube looks at it, according to their documentation, is that when you are trying to use a giveaway as a means to grow your channel by offering the dangling the carrot, so to speak, of, hey, you might win this if you subscribe, then you are encouraging people to subscribe when they're not actually interested in what it is that you're doing. So because of that, just make sure that you don't say those types of things with your giveaway so that you can make sure that you are playing on the safe side there and that you're not violating any community guidelines of any kind.
Super chat.
Red Silo Homestead says, homesteading channel that also does woodworking, wanting to just create a separate playlist for that content instead of creating a whole new channel. Good thing or bad thing? So if you are homesteading and you have a woodworking part that's still related to homesteading, then absolutely. If you are doing woodworking and it has nothing to do with homesteading, then in that situation, I would make a new channel for it. And the reason for that is, unless the people that are into homesteading are like, the likelihood of them being into woodworking is extremely high, then in that situation, go ahead and keep it on the channel. But what you want to think about in situations like this is you want to think about, okay, the people that are coming in for the homesteading content, the very specific woodworking videos that I'm doing, how likely are those people to click on and enjoy the woodworking content, even if they're coming in for the homesteading content? If you think, based on, how you're structuring your channel and the specific content that you're putting out, if you think the woodworking content is something that they might respond to in a positive way because it's also built around, it's also relative to homesteading, then in that situation, go ahead and keep it. But if you're doing like homesteading stuff, but then you're doing woodworking on, like, hey, I'm making like a little, I don't have any wood stuff in here, but like I'm making like a little wooden statue or something like that that might not really make sense for that crowd, then in that situation, I would use another channel for it if you're trying to build your YouTube brand around homesteading and strongly tap into that audience. Because the idea with all this stuff is, and I was telling this to a buddy of mine last night. He and his girlfriend are considering starting a YouTube channel. So we hopped on a call and we were just kind of, talking about the details. And one of the things that I had to explain to him was, and a lot of you might, relate to this, is when you are starting a YouTube channel, or when you have a YouTube channel, the way that you want to look at it is you want to look at your YouTube channel like, okay, I am creating a YouTube channel, right? Just like a TV channel. That channel is going to be a resource for a certain type of content for a certain type of viewer. So that when somebody goes and they watch one of my videos and YouTube is recommending another one of my videos next to the video that they're watching, the likelihood of them clicking on one of my additional videos because it's of interest to them based on what it is that's bringing them into my video in the first place, then in that case, I can kind of send them down the rabbit hole watching a bunch of content that they really enjoy. But what happens is when you create a channel and you have like a bunch of just like random stuff on it, then in that situation, you are just putting up roadblocks for yourself left and right. So because of that, just make sure that you think like, okay, with this woodworking that I'm doing, I love woodworking. I want to share that with people, but how can I also do the woodworking, but have it relate to the homesteading crowd so that it is, so if they're trying to build stuff, I'm still helping those people, build specific things. So that would be the approach that I would take. Sayed's Life
Super chat.
So I recently started using Sprizzy to help push my content out there. I wouldn't use any service like that. What are your views on paid promotions and best practices? So when it comes to any type of service like that, I would not use them. I would not touch those with a 10-foot pole. If you are going to do any type of paid promotion, do it yourself through, Google Ads. I wouldn't recommend any service like that under any circumstance. And the reason for that is because you don't know what's happening on the back end. So I'm sure you've seen all of the bots that are running around YouTube. I'm sure you've heard of subscriber purges where all of a sudden content creators will start freaking out. I lost 100 subscribers last night. I lost 1,000. I lost 10,000 subscribers last night. Well, some of that comes from bot accounts and from spam accounts. And both of those types of accounts are used in a lot of services to where people are paying those services for views and subscribers. But what is happening is those services are basically running their bot networks in order to bring attention to that content creator, but it's all artificial. It's not actual, they sell it like it's real people, but it's not. And then there's other places. And of course, I'm not going to say names in here for my own legal protection, but then there's other places that are like, hey, we'll just run ads for you. Run ads yourself. And the reason for that is because those people are trying to make a profit. So just because they're running ads for you and they're going to say things like, hey, we're going to put them in front of the videos of, people that, that are, your ideal audience. But in reality, again, they're trying to run a business. So what people find when they use certain services is that those companies will, okay, let me back this up a second. You may or may not know that around the world, ad rates are different. And if people from a certain, from certain countries are watching your videos, then the advertisers don't pay as much there, just like here in Thailand, right? You can get ads really cheap here in Thailand. Like you can run ads really cheap here in Thailand. You can run ads really cheap in India and, a bunch, places like that. So what a lot of these services will do is they'll run the ads on the videos. So if you were to see it, it's like, oh, hey, it's working. They're doing their thing. But what they're really doing is they're actually going for the lowest possible ad spend that they can possibly do so that you see the views coming in. You're like, hey, this is great. This is working. But in reality, they're actually putting you in front of the wrong audience, putting you in front of the wrong countries. The ad rates that you're going to get from those people, at scale, because they're basically going to tip your channel into those demographics, right? So because of that, we'll just do it this way. I personally wouldn't recommend any of those services. I would actually recommend against any service out there that's like, hey, you pay us money and you walk away and we're going to do, whatever it is for your YouTube channel. I would completely avoid those like the things happening in the world right now. That's what I would do. Okay, so next up on our list here, we've got, let me refresh this too. Your driver, Mike. What's up, dude? Hope that you are doing awesome. Mike says that the type of channel is education and finance, side hustle income. The goal of the channel is to help others maximize their success in the gig economy, reach 50,000 subscribers next year. And the question is, what's the best way to optimize YouTube stories for more views and subscribers? What should I do differently than my regular content? So YouTube stories are typically used to give people like behind the scenes looks to, like, hey, videos coming out here. This is what I'm doing. Or basically anything that's additional content that is related to your audience or gives them more insight on you. So it's something that you can do in order to be able to, create a deeper connection with your audience, because this is one thing that's awesome about live streaming is it allows you to be able to connect with people because they get to see the nuances of your personality while you're live. You might talk about, additional things that share other information about things that you might be interested in and things like that. And those are the things that help people connect with you. So if you are if your YouTube content is relatively sterile in terms of not your personality, of course, but in terms of, how much you let people into like you and what it is that you're doing around the type of content that you make, then you can use stories as a thing that gives people behind the scenes looks at what it is that you're doing, to where you share opinions about things that would relate to those people and so on, to give them a little bit more insight about, you and how you think about things and the things that you stand for and the things that you believe and all that good stuff, so that you can create those deeper connections with your audience. So I would use it for that type of stuff instead of, like there's a lot of people that will only use it to promote other videos. You can do that too. But I would also put in there, if you're going to be using stories on a regular basis, I would do it to where you are, just sharing, just amateurish content of, stuff that's going on behind the scenes for the sake of, creating that deeper connection with the people that are watching your videos. And you can also get, you can get, subscriber gains from from stories as well. ABE Zoid. Oh, really quick before we do ABE Zoid.
Super chat.
The Pequano says, what can I use for A/B thumbnail testing besides TubeBuddy? I don't want to pay for the $20 per month star subscription. I already have the pro license. Okay. So when it comes to A/B testing your thumbnails, you can also do it manually. If you wanted to spend even more money, then you can do it to where you actually run ads against the thumbnails also, but it's going to end up costing you way more than the price that you pay for TubeBuddy. Or you can just do it manually. If you do it manually, it's going to be a nightmare in terms of you have to track the traffic sources that you're getting the traffic from, the watch time for all the different traffic sources. You have to track the click-through rate for all the different traffic sources. And you have to be very diligent about exactly when it is that you're switching the thumbnails as well. So you can do it manually just using, like Google Sheets or something and keeping track of the information yourself. But the easy way to do it is just to drop that $20, and you don't have to continue to drop the $20 forever. Just upgrade for like a month, test your thumbnails out to where you can start to get some insights from that, and then go back down to the pro license. That's what I would do if I was like, hey, I don't want to just keep spending that. I would do it. I would have periods of testing. Or I'd be like, hey, this is my testing month. I'm going to run tests on all kinds of stuff, and then I'm going to downgrade, and then wait a couple months, then I'm going to upgrade again, test a bunch of stuff, and then I'm going to downgrade, and I would just keep doing that for the sake of making sure that you are testing your thumbnails and that you're doing it in an easy way. That $20 you're going to spend is going to be way worth your time and way worth the management that you're going to need to do in order to do it manually. The Elliott family of 7 says, I'm curious, do we get paid if someone skips an ad? And do not skippable ads pay more? Non-skippable ads pay more. Yeah, non-skippables, they do pay more. In terms of if you get paid if somebody skips an ad, basically how that works is yes, you do. Because basically what it is, it's a monetized playback. So that just means that they attempted to show an ad there. So somebody doesn't have to actually like click on it in order for you to get paid. They don't have to watch it in entirety in order for you to get paid. So when it comes to the ads, yeah, you are, if somebody skips it in terms of that first 5 seconds goes by and then they click skip ad, then that still counts as a monetized playback. All right. Let's see here. So next up here was AVE Zoid. AVE Zoid says they do gaming content. The goal of the channel is to entertain people. And the question is, should smaller channels, including myself, worry about the new monetization changes to YouTube? I know you already made a video on this. I'm just really asking for the sake of some newer people that haven't seen the video. P.S. Drink your water. Thanks. So no, I don't think content creators should worry about this in any way, shape, or form. So some things have popped up, in terms of, user experience, like, for example, people who make ASMR content, right? Like one of the things with ASMR content is people will listen to ASMR content when they go to sleep. And when they listen to the ASMR content and they go to sleep, well, if you are nodding off and then you have an ASMR playlist and you're like, okay, I'm almost going to sleep. This is great and fantastic. And I'm relaxing. And then all of a sudden you have a loud car commercial come in. Well, guess what? That's going to disrupt that experience. Same exact thing goes for like meditation content. Same thing goes for, you know, like for example, we'll listen to spa music a lot here. Like I'll put on a playlist and, you know, we'll listen to just spa music in the background and when we're chilling and stuff, and it just kind of creates a vibe. You know, we'll set the mood lights and all that stuff and we're hanging out. And then, you know, in that situation, you know, you are going to have that chill mood disrupted by an ad. So, you know, because of that, you know, little details like that are definitely going to impact certain types of content, but it's not going to be something that is going to be something to where it's like, oh no, now it's all over. Everything's broken now, anything like that. So like for gamers, no, you're fine. I wouldn't waste 1 millisecond on even like worrying about it. I would just think like, okay, not a big deal. I'm just going to continue going and doing what it is that I was doing before. And I'm going to just strive to get into the partner program so that I can actually get a percentage of the ads that are being shown on my videos. Let's see here. Okay. So next up we've got...
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Vern's Junk Closet, welcome to the Nimminati. Make sure that next time you are on Facebook, you look for Nimminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. There's some free stuff in there for you. You can ask questions about what it is that you're doing. Just a heads up, it is not like a video sharing group or check out my channel, anything like that. What we do there is it's a community of people that are serious about YouTube. And inside of that group, you know, if people have questions about what it is that they're doing, they'll ask. The community will answer. I'll answer. You know, if I get tagged, then, you know, then I'll go in there and I'll give the feedback on, you know, whatever the question is. So, so it's more for that type of thing, not necessarily like, hey, here's a link to my video. Everybody go subscribe to the channel or go, you know, check out the video and give me your thoughts. So we do that kind of stuff when we do our members only live streams, but not just in the main feed of the group there. Okay, so
Super chat.
Syed's Life said, here's another one. My channel's focused on life as a British Asian in the UK. Can't seem to break 665 subscribers. How do I break through to above 1,000 subscribers? So here's the thing. If you got 600 subscribers, you can get 1,000. You can get 600,000 if you can get 600. But basically, what you should be doing is you should be going into the content, because YouTube will show us, they show us what videos are driving the most subscribers. So you can find that in your analytics. So if you notice, when I make content like this, people don't really subscribe to it, but when I make content like this, people do. Then in that situation, that shows you like, well, if I want to get past that threshold, then I need to, you know, start making some of these additional pieces of content that people respond to with a subscribe at a higher rate. But typically the subscribe comes from people getting a certain type of value out of what it is that you're doing. So that value can be, you know, explained in a bunch of different ways, but typically they are like super entertained. They, you know, they find your content funny, or they find you funny. They learn something from you. You challenge them to think in a different way, or that you challenge their opinions on something to where, you know, kind of gets them going a little bit, that sort of thing. You get people motivated or inspired to, you know, to do stuff. Those are all expressed as value, to where when people have that experience, it's like, oh, I'm going to subscribe here. Another thing that you need to make sure that you do is remind people to subscribe to your channel as well. So just a really quick, you don't want to spend a ton of time on it, but just really quick, just remind people to subscribe to your channel and let them know why. You know, hey, I make videos like this every week. So if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe and then get on, you know, with the rest of the thing. And the reason that you want to do those calls to action is, one, because they're proven to be effective. But two, in addition to that, what you're doing in that situation is you're reminding people. Just like when you're like, you know, hey, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments, or, you know, just say yes in the comments if you think the same, or whatever it happens to be, or give this video a thumbs up. As a matter of fact,
if you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
So when I hit that button, there's going to be some people that will be like, oh yeah, that's right, I haven't hit the like button yet. Even though they always hit the like button, even though they always, you know, hang out in the live streams, it's something that just, you know, that they're just not thinking about because they're enjoying the content. So when those reminders are, when they show up in videos, or when you verbally say it or whatever, when those happen, you're simply reminding the viewer to take that action, because they're into your content, right? They're watching the content. So if you make really good content, then it can be even harder because they're engaged in what it is that you're doing. So just make sure that you're reminding people.
Super chat.
Matt's RB Reviews and Towable says, question, is it better for me to put the mid-roll ads in myself or to let Google justify where and when a mid-roll ad appears? P.S. The goal is to make the most money without angering my customers. So I would let Google do it because basically their systems are going to, unless if you do things like, right after this, and then you drop an ad there to where you kind of structure it kind of like TV, then in that situation, you can go ahead and do it. But it's better to just go ahead and make your content because every person isn't going to see that ad in that place that you're trying to, that you inserted it. So because of that, I would let YouTube do it. And the reason that you want to let YouTube do it is because they're optimizing the ads based around how people are responding to what it is that you're doing and how they typically respond to ads and things like that. So I would let their system do it because their system has more data on their users than you do. Expat information.
Welcome to the Nimmin.
Expat information and real mamas, real problems. Welcome to the Nimmin. Expat information. I'm an expat as well. So looking forward to getting to know you in there. And real mama, real problems. Both of you guys, make sure that next time we're just going to skip that part. So there's some members only videos here on the channel. And in the description of those members only videos, there's a direct link to our members only Facebook group. So make sure that you fill out all the information on the way in because that's how I verify that you're a member. And I give access to that. Typically it'll be on like a Sunday or Monday because after these streams, because it's already like almost 10 o'clock here. So typically after these streams, I'm like done for the week. So I'll let you into the group either on Sunday or Monday, basically the next time I sit in front of my computer. Let's see here. Puppy 101 now. So you said the algorithm measures your channel as an authority in a certain topic. How can I accomplish this as a commentary channel with many topics and people? I want to be an authority in the algorithm, but how? Well, first you have to define like you want to be an authority in what. I'm going to guess that you're doing puppy training based on your channel name. So what you do in this situation is you just make an entire channel that is focused on puppy related content. And then you become an authority on training puppies if that's what Puppy 101 now means. And then additional things happen as well. Just like in Google and all that, to where, if you have like, let's say that you're doing puppy training and then you start, because you make really awesome content, you start having some websites that also are linking back to your channel as a great source for puppy related content. Well, their systems, Google and YouTube and, the whole thing, they're all going to detect that. And those little things can also help you, a little bit as well in terms of establishing authority on a specific thing. Same thing with other content creators linking back to you as well who make similar types of content and that sort of thing. But the idea is that you just keep making content on the subject that you're making content about, puppy training, it seems. And regardless of the actual people making the content, it's more about the niche of the content. So if you're doing a bunch of different types of content, so let's say you're doing puppy training and then you're doing housekeeping and then you're doing quilting, well, you're not going to become an authority on anything in that situation because you're not serving a particular type of viewer with a particular type of content over and over and over again. So you won't become an authority in anything. But if you're just doing puppy training, then over time, you'll establish your authority as a puppy training channel.
Super chat.
Tim Wolf, what's up, dude? Says last 2 weeks you suggested new shorts channel. I did, and in only 3 days and 10 videos, I already have over 3,000 views. Nice, dude. High five, fist bump to you. Nice work on that. So here's something that you guys might not know. I just found this out yesterday. So I've been looking around, like basically I have access to tons of channels through, through my services before. Because, like I just, I'll experiment on doing channels and stuff sometimes. But basically, I've been trying to access shorts through already established channels. And the funny thing is, I was on a TubeBuddy stream last night and Shelly from Shelly Saves the Day, she's like, yeah, I actually got in on a channel that I created like a while back that didn't have any like subscribers on it or anything. And I was like, let me look at one of those. So I went and looked at one of those and now, boom, create a short. So if you are somebody that happens to have a, channel that doesn't have any activity on it, you might actually have shorts on that particular channel. So just as a heads up, I just wanted to share that information as well. So this is all US based stuff, even though I'm in Thailand, it's a US account, all that stuff. So even though it's rolled out in India, some of us can get it too. So just as a heads up there. Let's see here. Lovely V Munch Brunch.
Super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. And Ron's training some things. What's up, man? Says, what do we know about the tax implications of YouTube's new royalty status? Will this mean that YouTube withholds taxes from all U.S. creators in the partnership program? So when I was looking at the information on this, Ron, I was looking more on like the filing side. Instead, here, let me pull up some screenshots on this. I was looking more on the filing side than I was on YouTube actually, you know, like them withholding it, because they say that they will, you know, that they will withhold it if the necessary like tax information isn't there. But I know me, like I've put in, you know, my stuff over there. So, you know, I should be okay. But basically when it comes to the royalties for any of you that are in the US right now, the IRS says that royalties from copyrights, patents, oil, gas, and mineral properties, blah, blah, blah. They're taxed as ordinary income. You generally report royalties in Part 1 of Schedule E in the Form 1040 or Form 1040 SR, supplemental income and loss. However, if you hold an operating oil, gas, or mineral interest, or are in business as a self-employed writer, inventor, artist, that you guys, etc., report your income expenses on a Schedule C. So basically, I pulled that right off the irs.gov website in terms of the filing, information there. But what I was looking for information was more about like, okay, how do we deal with it once we actually get paid out on it? I was looking at that more than YouTube, you know, the specific details of exactly what it is that they're withholding. So I'll actually make a note to look into that as well. Un momento, por favor. I actually do it here on my phone because it'll be faster. Okay, look into withholding also. While that's going on.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Look into holding. Okay, got it. Okay, I'll follow up with you on that on like Twitter DM or something, or on Facebook. And like once I look into that, I'll follow up with you on that, Ron. Okay, so next up on the list, we've got Lady TLTC. Lady TLTC says they have an arts and crafts channel. The goal of the channel is to give people creative outlet. And the question, how can you get subscribers without changing your channel's content? Well, that's the idea. Is you want to create a channel that is a resource of a certain type of content for a certain type of viewer. So the idea is you don't want to change your channel's content outside of making sure that what it is that you're doing is something that viewers find satisfactory and they get value from. So if you want to get more subscribers, then what you have to do is define exactly what it is people are getting from what it is that you're doing. So for me, right? You know, you guys are watching my content because you want to learn how to do YouTube. You want to learn all different aspects about, you know, growing a YouTube channel and, you know, all the stuff involved with YouTube. So my YouTube channel is basically any video you watch on my channel, you're going to learn something about YouTube or some of the tools or resources involved with being a content creator. So every video on my channel has something to do with you and what it is that you care about and what it is that you are trying to accomplish. And that is what my channel is. Now, in terms of, you know, how you react to my videos, and through, you know, audience retention and stuff, that's always a work in progress. But in terms of, you know, getting more subscribers on my channel, it's crystal clear what it is that I offer and what it is that you are going to get out of, you know, watching my content, which makes it really easy to subscribe to. So in your particular situation, Lady TLTC, you have to just be very specific about what it is that you're doing, who it is that you're trying to reach, and the value that you're giving. Because a lot of people will make content and they just make content for the sake of making content, right? Because they want to be a YouTuber, they want to upload videos, which is fine. But at the end of the day, if you want to start getting people to really be involved with what it is that you're doing, then you have to remember that you're making content for a viewer. So you're making the content that you enjoy, but you're making that content to be consumed by strangers. So because All right. So, unfortunately, it appears that my internet is down. I'm trying to go through like some troubleshooting stuff here. I don't even know if you can see me right now. I think you can. But basically, I'm doing this on my phone right now. And it looks like my home internet, because I'm on my data right now, so it looks like my home internet is toast at the moment here. So they're trying to like require me to like log in and like all this other crazy stuff, and I don't have any of that. I don't have any of that information. I don't have any of the information for there we go. I don't have any of the information for the login stuff here, for the actual login. Typically, in situations like that, it'll just refresh and it'll be fine. But this is actually requiring me to log in. So I'm going to have to call the internet company and all of that stuff in order to be able to get this back on. So I think that I'm going to have to call the stream for the day in order to get this worked out. Okay, let's go to forgot password. Okay, restore the default password. All customized settings will be lost after you restore it to factory. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So basically, it looks like we are going to not be able to stream today. Man, what happened? So yeah. So I'm gonna have to call the internet company and stuff. So I'm just gonna call it early. Thank you everybody for hanging out in the live stream. This one's definitely going to be a shorter stream than normal. So depending on how things go, I might do like a makeup scene. I might do a makeup scene or makeup stream here within the next couple of days, maybe. But I might just wait until next Saturday. But I'm going to try to get this going. If I can get it going, if I can figure it out, then I'll just come back on. I'll just come back on here shortly. But for now, everybody have an awesome rest of your week, and I will catch you next Saturday or in the next video, and I'll see you guys soon.